Okay, guys, we're back. We can now go towards Twitter now. What's going on there? See some visuals. Okay, so this is drop site. New footage shows US base in Bahrain under Iranian missile strike. They're just moving in there unchallenged, almost unchallenged. Just hitting there. Why isn't there any interceptor? Okay, so there's just one going up there. That's it. And then a barrage is coming down. So that was, according to drop site, that was Bahrain, US base under attack. So you need to be careful. There is a lot of AI stuff going on there too, because CCTV camera footages and far long shots are easy to be made on AI and looks pretty real. So Suleiman Ahmed, major hits in Israel. Is this real? He's asking. By the audio of the people talking, I think it's AI. So, and the pattern of the smoke, the blazing tail, that's also not. So we're gonna move on. This is Carlson, Chinese state TV CCTV reporter shows extensive damage in center of Tel Aviv by Iranian missiles.
不只是这栋建筑，包括它两旁的建筑，包括这个街道对面的另外的几栋建筑呢，都是处于一个损毁的状态，并且呢，整个这个街道两边呀，它当时导弹命中的时候是有很多的车辆，这个车辆呢也是都被摧毁了。目前呢，这些车辆大部分车辆已经是被这个救援的团队呢给运走了。现在。
So, okay, we got great reporting by CCTV. This is Mario, precision strike by an Israeli aircraft. Okay, so this is a Sky News reporter holding accountable the foreign minister of Israel. Wait. Okay, yes.
This is a war crime. Targeting civilians, targeting elderly women, killing, murdering her caregiver from the Philippines. And the Iranian regime is targeting not only us in Israel, they are targeting the entire region.
What about the 100 or so schoolgirls in Iran that have been killed in a strike there?
And this must stop. This must be stopped, and this is what we're trying to do. Yes, next question, please.
But what about those
Please,
Iranian
let's
schoolgirls?
allow others. Please.
I'm Lomas from.
But your prime minister is a wanted war criminal. You don't have the moral high ground here at all.
This is a war crime. This is a war crime. Targeting civilians, targeting elderly women, killing, murdering her caregiver from the Philippines. And the Iranian regime is targeting not only us in Israel, they are targeting the entire region.
What about the 100 or so schoolgirls in Iran that have been killed in a strike there?
And this must stop. This must be stopped, and this is what we're trying to do. Yes, next question, please.
But what about those
Please,
Iranian
let's
schoolgirls?
allow others. Please.
I'm Lomas from.
Let's allow others, he says. I think he's gonna get his passport visa canceled or something like that. So we just saw that this was early in the morning, 11 hours ago. Little bit of traffic was still on, but now it's completely jammed. As we just saw. These are pictures of an American pilot which came down in, I think, Kuwait, and this is how the locals were treating it, the pilot. So the smoke coming from in the background, the black smoke, I think that was the aeroplane, his jet that came down. And he's telling them that back off, I'm an American. He goes down on his knees, trying to show that he's harmless. And as soon as these guys get to know, okay, we're on the same side, they back off. So they probably, on the cars, they just probably followed this parachute. Saw a guy coming down and just followed him all the way and saw who he was. So this also goes to show that a fighter pilot is nothing without his jet. This guy is an advanced, trained guy. No matter what country you belong to, the Air Force guys are like very well trained. So look at them. Two guys standing behind the fence. We're going to move on. This is the same guy loaded in the car.
1 minute. لا لا شبه الدبه 1 minute 1 minute 1 minute.
They're making movies.
Yes, 1 minute 1 minute. لا لا شبه الدبه 1 minute 1 minute 1 minute.
Okay, let's move forward. Beautiful, impressive fireworks show taking place in Israel right now. So this video was very questionable. A lot of people thought this is. I still think that this is partly AI generated, and partly it is right. So this strike, I think it's original, the first one, this one, and then the scene changes. You see, the scene changes. This is a mobile phone right in front of the camera. You mean that the guy had Facebook Ray-Ban glasses, Meta glasses on? He was recording it by with his glasses? I don't think so. And then in the same clip, the smoke. The mushroom, it's unreal. Look at that. Look at that. I think I've seen this somewhere in some sort of a video. And then this looks real. And that's it. So these are like 3 clips binded together to make it feel like it's the same. So even Grok is having problems identifying this because he says that this is a real footage. This is real footage from Iranian ballistic missile strikes on Israel tonight, March 2nd, 2026. He is the Grok is saying this because this is a mixture of three clips out of one which is sort of AI generated. So it is Grok is actually saying that the Iranian ballistic missile strikes did take place. It's not like specifically confirming this video footage, and even if it is, it's not talking about the video footage in between that weird cloud of smoke coming up. So Grok is again and again saying that this is real footage. So okay, we're gonna move on. Scott Rittle, let's see what he says.
Military officer knew. No, I was only a boy soldier. You were an important military officer. Nobody in the world knows more about war and military matters than you. So give us a reading on how well the Iranian response is going. It looks to me, although I may be an ingenue, that they're actually doing extremely well.
Again, lacking specific data on the exact targets hit and on the number of missiles launched. I don't have access to the Iranian battle plan. But what we can see suggests exactly that which you have said, that the Iranians are doing extraordinarily well. We have to be careful about evaluating missile launches and missile intercepts. We see data coming out of Qatar that suggests they've been very successful. But once again, we don't understand the Iranian way of war, because most of the missiles Iran has launched are designed to be intercepted. Most of the missiles Iran's launched are designed to absorb interceptors. Most of the missiles Iran launches are designed to confuse the radar systems of the integrated anti-ballistic missile defense systems. And then Iran comes in with the killer touch at the end and hits the targets they want to hit. So if we evaluate Iran on the totality of the missiles launched, we would say they have about a 33% success rate. If we evaluate them on the missiles that need to hit the targets Iran wants them to hit, the success rate is close to 100%. And these targets are devastating in terms of what they're hitting. They're destroying American radar systems worth hundreds of millions of dollars, in one case, $1.1 billion. By the time they're finished with the United States, the price tag on infrastructure lost will be over $100 billion. $100 billion of American infrastructure that will be destroyed in the Middle East. And the price tag for the Gulf Arab states can go up as equally high if they want to continue this nonsense and pretend that the United States has some sort of legitimate function in the Middle East today. The United States does not. Israel is also paying a very heavy price. One has to be careful about reading what one reads on the internet, because the quality control filter isn't necessarily there. But it appears that the Iranians struck a building, and that building contained Israeli officers who were carrying out a conference about this war. The location of that building had been selected by the Israelis in the morning, meaning that by striking this building and killing the people inside, Iran not only proved that they had the capability to penetrate Israeli air defense at any time. This building was selected because it was supposed to be ringed by sufficient air defense systems. But Iran also showed that they have the ability to collect intelligence information, highly accurate intelligence information about the most sensitive topics in Israel, and respond in a timely fashion, killing the Israelis involved. This, more than anything, scares the Israelis, because they now know they are all literally dead men walking. We might as well get Tom Hanks to go into Tel Aviv and walk down the street and shout it out. Dead man walking, because that is Israel today. The Iranians will not let up. The Iranians have the capacity to sustain this fight. Benjamin Netanyahu warned Donald Trump that if you're going to pull the trigger on Iran, you have to kill Iran, terminate the conflict before 700 missiles impact on Israeli soil. Too bad, so sad, Bibi baby, because you're going to get burned. The Iranians are coming in with everything they have, and there's not a damn thing you can do to stop it.
Scott, sometimes our children ask the most blindingly obvious but most profound question. So let me pass my eldest son's question on to you. Once I told him how I thought the war was going, he asked the pretty obvious question, why then did they do it? Why did the United States and Israel launch a war which you say they were bound to lose, and looking at the pictures so far, it seems you were right. They are losing it.
The reason why we launched this war is because of the ignorance of the people who planned this war, ignorance about war itself. Understand there's outside of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, there's very few people surrounding Donald Trump who actually have firsthand experience in war or the art of war. These are politicized dilettantes. The closest one you get is Pete Hegseth, who is nothing more than a glorified battalion operations officer and a reformed alcoholic who is probably best left sitting behind a Fox studio camera than actually trying to lead people. But hey, he can bench 315 pounds, so God bless him. But these are the people advising the president. They are simplistic people. They are foolish people. They are stupid people, fundamentally stupid people, and they are ignorant beyond belief. They have fallen victims of their own ignorance. These are people, Scott Bessent, setting off demonstrations by collapsing the value of the real back in December 28th. And then bragging about it at Davos, how he is the one responsible for creating demonstrations. Then the demonstrations get magnified by Mossad, by the CIA, by selective videotaping of violence, and then projecting it out here to the echo chamber that is the American social media environment. And we started believing that there's actually a critical mass of Iranian people in Iran ready to rise up and remove the theocracy from power, because we created a situation where a handful of people unveiled the flag of the monarchy, shouted death to Khamenei, and then we broadcasted here and we said they're ready, and Trump believes this nonsense. So he was told, if you decapitate the regime, you bring down Khamenei, the people will rise up. He actually believed this. And then he bragged about it. Openly bragged about how I am tracking Khamenei. He should leave the country because I'm going to kill him. Does he not understand that Ali Khamenei volunteered to die on the first day of the war? Ali Khamenei was at home in his residence, knowing he was being hunted down by the United States, knowing he was being targeted by death. He was surrounded by fellow shaheeds who also knew that they were going to die, but they also understood that there was a purpose in their death, because by dying, they entered into martyrdom. And the Iranian people are in the streets, but they're not shouting death to Khamenei. They're shouting long live the martyr Khamenei. That's why we lost the war on day one. This was a trap set by the Iranians on day one by a people of faith. Donald Trump wouldn't even know what a Shia is or what a Twelver is. He doesn't know who Hussein is. He doesn't know who Ali is. He has no clue what the Battle of Karbala is. And yet he fell into a trap where all of this is relevant. He assassinated or facilitated the murder of the second most important man in the Shia faith, Ali Khamenei. This is the equivalent of killing the Pope if you're Catholic, killing the Archbishop of Canterbury if you're British, killing the head of the Orthodox Church, Kirill, if you are Russian. And Donald Trump doesn't understand this. If the purpose of this operation was to get the Iranian people in the street, Donald Trump succeeded. But he got the wrong people in the street for the wrong cause. The people of Iran today are rallying in support of the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic is invincible at this moment because you can't kill people who are ready to die for their cause. And the Shia of Iran who are defending the Islamic Republic are prepared to a man, to a woman, to become martyrs in the cause of their faith. And it is the Islamic Republic of Iran that they are defending, not just their land, not just their culture, not just their history, but their faith. Donald Trump lost this war, the first missiles that impacted the ground in Tehran.
Wow, that was Scott Ritter. We're going to move on. Let's see what happened here.
What consequences should there be? Because under religious freedom laws, apparently these can be held, but you've got the Premier saying it's Terrible.
Yeah, well, I think it's a bit arrogant of the Premier to say to a religious organisation, you can't mourn your spiritual leader, right? Because that's essentially what they're doing. Whether you agree with what they stood for or not, is he going to do it to the Catholic Church, to Buddhists, to synagogues and to other things if their leaders are doing something he doesn't agree with?
Is there a difference, though, when he's accused of murdering 30,000 people and executing young boys who may
Pretty
be
extreme.
gay?
Well, hang on a minute, but they called him a tyrant, right? But a tyrant is someone who bombs a school and kills 160 children, which is what happened in Iran recently when America and Israel bombed Iran, right? So that's tyrant behaviour. Or when the IDF flattened Gaza and 60,000 people were killed, that's a tyrant activity. So if you're going to condemn one group for killing, condemn everyone for all killing around the world, right? Don't just pick one religion or one group and say, I condemn what you've done and you can't mourn, you know, the death of your spiritual leader when other countries and religions have killed also.
Okay, so...
Okay, that was a good one. An unexploded US kamikaze drone was found on farmland in West Iraq on Monday. This is going to be funny.
سفيان بدر يلا تعال شيل هنا تعال شيل هنا شيل بالله شيل بالله راح شيل بالله
This is the US American Embassy in Saudi. Some other airstrikes, missile strikes, Iranian missile strikes on Israel. So you can see all of these coming down with unchallenged, with no opposition. It looks like there's no interceptors here. Just clean landing. So it's known that any air defense system can be overwhelmed, and this is what Iran had in mind since the first day. And this is what they're doing. They're just overwhelming the air defense systems. We're going to move on now. Okay, so this is Kuwait. Successful passage of Iranian missiles to through all the defense missiles of the US base. There's something wrong with the defense now. I mean, very few interceptors have caught missiles coming down. Video from San Antonio, Texas. What could be going on? The Chinooks flying over San Antonio's. Okay, yeah, so this is what I was talking about, finally.
That was the point. Now, that wasn't a risk from the Israeli standpoint. That was the point. That was the point. They wanted to diminish the Gulf, and in 2 days they have. And I think anyone who likes decency and order and cleanliness is hoping that the Gulf will recover. The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far. They're our friends, but they've been really hurt. And in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly. It's got the busiest airport in the world. You start seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year. Oh, sorry, drug cartels. Whatever. Maybe you go to Sedona this year. It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably not, hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait. And they've succeeded.
Yeah, so I'm gonna play that over again. You can find that on the Tucker Carlson show on YouTube. It's available now. The entire episode is, I think, an hour and a half long. So I'm gonna take you back into the clip. It's just 1 minute and 54 seconds.
That was the point. That was the point. They wanted to diminish the Gulf, and in 2 days they have. And I think anyone who likes decency and order and cleanliness is hoping that the Gulf will recover. The Gulf is not a threat to us. We have military bases in these countries. These are some of our closest allies. All of them are closer allies than Israel, by far. They're our friends, but they've been really hurt. And in a place like Dubai, which is basically part of a country, it's an emirate within the United Arab Emirates, but it's also it's a luxury brand, basically. People go to Dubai because it's beautiful and rich and clean, and above all, because it's safe and orderly. It's got the busiest airport in the world. You start seeing video on Instagram of smoke in the Dubai airport, and you're like, I think I'm going to Cabo this year. Oh, sorry, drug cartels. Whatever. Maybe you go to Sedona this year. It really, really hurts these countries. And Israel wanted to hurt these countries. That's the point. Wanted to hurt these countries. Wanted to sow chaos and disorder because they are rivals of Israel. So it's probably not, hasn't been reported, but it's a fact that last night in Qatar and Saudi Arabia, authorities arrested Mossad agents planning on committing bombings in those countries. Now, that's weird. That doesn't make any sense. Why would the Israelis be committing bombings in two Gulf countries, which are also being attacked by Iran? Aren't they on the same side? No. No. Israel wants to hurt Iran and Qatar and UAE and Saudi and Bahrain and Oman and Kuwait.
That was Tucker Carlson. You can follow him on his YouTube. His entire episode is available there. We're going to move forward really quickly. Okay, here's Brian Berletic. Let's see what he's saying. A bit of what he's saying. It's a 30 minutes video.
People have to remember, I am based in Southeast Asia. I'm about 12 hours ahead of the U.S. Eastern Standard Time. So from my perspective, it is day 4 of these military operations. And I want to point out 2 posts that I have made since I published my last video yesterday. And if you go over here to X, but I also published this on my post section on YouTube and also on Telegram, I have 2 posts here. One is about why China is not intervening to stop the U.S. war of aggression against Iran. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. But first, I want to address what is going on with this conflict against Iran right now. Right now, as we speak, Iran continues to carry out regional military operations, highly coordinated, very effective, long-range ballistic missile and drone strikes across the entire region, striking as far as Israel, Jordan. This is on the furthest reach of the Middle East toward the Mediterranean Sea. They're also striking U.S. military facilities and now economic facilities.
You guys can follow him for more details and updates. We're going to go back to the Flightradar and see what's happening over there. Just going to refresh this. This is the private owner in Qatar. Flew up from here, just making rounds of the Qatari airfield. Here it is. So this is the plane making rounds in the Qatari airfield. It's unidentified and it says that it belongs to a private owner. 13,000 people are watching this plane. So this is the Dubai airport and the flight just took off from Dubai, Air Arabia. So the people who know Dubai airport, it usually looks like something like this. No, this is nothing. It's probably the most busiest airport, and right now you can just see a plane. And then the Abu Dhabi airport is completely shut down. This is what's happening in Qatar. I think the quadcopter is off now. Wow, that's something new. It took like around 12 hours. Let's see if we can find it somewhere. Going back. Nope. It's vanished. So a lot of private jets. This one. Another one following it. Took off from Cairo. This doesn't tell. We can track it back. It took off from Istanbul and it's flying over mid Saudi Arabia. It doesn't tell where it's going. Muscat looks pretty busy. There's a lot of ambulances and emergency vehicles here. Air France is landed or either taking off. Yep, both flights, Air France. What kind of a plane is this? So France Air Force, we can see the plane. It took off from here somewhere. Oh no. Wow, it came from here. It came from France. And this is the 6th most followed plane in the world right now. A lot of helicopters here, the French helicopters. We see jets as well. So there's a lot happening in the French air field. France Army. This is another jet. It's not registered. It came from here somewhere. So Europe is pretty busy. I think the refueling and even the takeoffs, some of the takeoffs are happening from Europe now, American planes, especially the cargo and the refueling planes. So we're going to follow that Air France plane. I hope we can find it now. Oops. So this is how it looks as night falls in this region. I'm going to take you back to Twitter, refresh the page and see what we have, and then I'm going to sign off. Okay, videos trying to show that it's pretty normal in UAE. These are strikes happening. I don't know if this is... Grok is saying that this isn't AI generated. This fishy. Yeah, this one. So this is Associated Press saying a commercial airplane was seen taking off in Beirut as Israeli airstrikes hit the Lebanese capital. So I think this is it for now. For further updates, subscribe. We'll let you know as soon as you get our notification as soon as we go live. Thank you very much for joining us.